Well, everybody, we did it. We found an 80. Now, I've been looking for an 80 size excavator, I don't know, since about July probably, since I had some jobs my 55 wasn't really big enough. Thought about a Kubota, went and did some paperwork on a Kubota, found out that it was a little out of my price range. Which is fine. There was a couple things about the Kubota that I didn't like. One thing I did like is it came with steel tracks and an angle blade on the front. After using the angle blade on the 55, I really like it. I may not miss it on the 80 here. It may not matter. So yeah, this one came from Ritchie Brothers down in Tennessee. It's my first time using Ritchie Brothers. It says heavy machines on the boom there. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it was a rental machine. I haven't studied that on the internet yet to see what that company is. You know, I bought it, as my brother said to me, and actually it's pretty funny. He says, you bought a machine you didn't look at from a guy you didn't know. And I tell you, I did all the purchasing right on my phone. We use their finance company, and those guys were great to deal with. It was pretty quickly. It was all taken care of pretty quickly. Got the machine here. Yeah, there's a few things about it that I wished I knew, you know, and it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. You know, they do a pretty good job with the photos and the videos and telling you this, that, and everything about it. But until you really look at it, you don't know. And I wasn't about to book a flight to Tennessee. Turn on another light here. To Tennessee to go look at it. And even this video here, you may not be able to see some things. I have put some polish on it here and there, cleaning it up. Had to do a pressure wash on it entirely because, of course, trucking it here in December, it got a little dirty, to say the least. But, you know, you can see on the counterweight here, and, you know, I guess counterweights and excavators are fairly popular smash zones for inexperienced or maybe you're in a hurry. However, this thing's a zero tail swing. So I can't for the life of me figure out how they got so many scratches and stuff on everything. You can see on this panel here, it got a little bent there. And of course you see the scrapes on the stickers there and on the side down here. And you can see looking at it here, you know, there's a couple inches there between the swing and the track. So I don't know, you know, they obviously were rubbing on the blade here. I'm pretty sure that's a blade rub. You can see on the top of the blade, it's pretty wore off right there. This little guard right here was twisted all up in kinds of banana bends. This guard here on this cylinder was smashed with the bucket right here. It was a banana bend barely on there, so I had to bend that back, and there's some plastic slides in there that I did get them back in there and working and everything, but I ordered some new ones because they're probably gonna fail. As far as like the boom and stuff, you know, there isn't really too bad a damage here. One kink fitting, it doesn't leak, so you know we won't mess with that. We'll leave it till it's a problem. So the biggest fails so far, well, one more little fail. There's a broken light up there. And there was enough dirt. It's all cleaned out now. I got this thing all cleaned up now. So it looks good. It wasn't too bad interior here, but I took the mat out and there was an inch or two of dirt underneath this mat. So it leads me to believe, and it was kind of like wet. So either we have a leak somewhere or they washed it out with a garden hose. So this railing here was broken. Sheared off, this weld was broken. It was all bent. Bent that back, welded that bracket on, bolted that back up. Also, this shield here, which is one piece of plastic. It's a little door, and it's hooked to this. So this is what holds it open. And when it got here, it was up like that. Now, the trucker that picked this up for me told me it was missing when he picked it up. In the yard, he showed me it was missing. Now, I went back and looked at the photos from Ritchie Brothers, and in the photos, if you blow it up on the graininess, you can see that cover is not there. Now, that wasn't going to make me not buy the machine. However, I probably should have looked to see how much this thing cost. Because this little cover right here, that goes on here, with a little latch, right here, there's a little latch, it opens it up. And there's a lock also. I think this is the latch pin and that's the lock pin. But anyways, I ordered it today. Yeah, it was almost $800. So I'm a little sad about that. And obviously, do you really need it? I mean, yes, I do. I want it. I want this thing 100%. A couple mirrors missing out there. I will replace that. The most major piece so far that I've come into, and I do need to do a full service on this. I haven't told you how many hours are on it yet. This cylinder on the back, the end of the boom here, the bucket cylinder, the end of the stick, it's leaking. And of course, in my little shop here, it just barely fits. I can't really pick that up and take care of that here. I'm gonna have to take it out of this building to do this, but it is scored something terrible. And I don't think you can even, no, it's inside right this minute, but it's scored terrible. The seal, you see the seal is tore. Maybe you can't, you can just see that the outside dust seal is tore, but it's leaking. Anyways, that's annoying. I mean, it's a hydraulic machine. I understand hydraulic machines might leak a little oil once in a while. However, I don't want it leaking right there. I really don't want that oil leaking out right there. Just, it makes a mess of everything. And I feel like for how many hours are on this and what I paid for it, that I don't need any leaky seals. So, upon looking at this machine with the hours I had on it, I do believe the hour meter. I have no reason to believe the hour meter is failed. Because the rest of the computer system in there, it also tracks, certain oil changes. It tracks oil changes on all the different fluids, even the planetaries. You're supposed to zero that when you change. Nothing's been changed. It has not had one single service on it. Now you might say, oh, that's crazy. Nobody serviced this thing. Well, it did get greased, so that's good. But Yanmar recommends 500 hours intervals on their oil changes. So, on the engine oil. And then like 1,000 hours, the first change on the hydraulic oil, 250 hours on the planetaries, which nobody ever zeroed that. So that does have the hours on it. Anyways, okay. It has 461 hours on it. Okay. To me, that's like brand new. This machine today, I can't even get a price from a dealer on what this machine is brand new. This is a 2020. Okay, it's red, as you can see, obviously. I can't get anybody to give me a hard quote on this on a new one. I wanted that first before I bid, But the Kubota 80, fully loaded, ready to go with all the extra PTOs and everything this has, is $115,000. Now again, that's with steel tracks and angle blades, so you could probably take off, I don't know, let's say $3,000 to $5,000. So let's just say $100,000 plus $105,000, maybe $110,000. I'm guessing this one's probably right in that range. Last year, this machine was like 98,000 ish. So this thing's got to be over $100,000 today. So that being said, how much did I pay for it? I feel a little bit that maybe I overpaid. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I paid $75,000 for it. $75,000 was the winning bid. Now, of course, you can't see the other bidders, so I don't know if I needed to pay $75,000. That part has me a little bit baffled as far as Ritchie Brothers' whole website setup there, whatever. But whatever. So I got it, 75. I was willing to pay 75, really. And then we got into the tax stuff, which still confuses me. But I had to pay Tennessee sales tax. That's where the auction was. They're one of their main lots in Tennessee. And they explained it to me because they are not a retailer. So if I was buying it from a retailer and having it trucked here to Vermont, I would have been paying the Vermont sales tax, which, incidentally, has a cap of $1,320 on tracked machines and skidders and a few other goofy things, but most notably track machines. So yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about that. It was over $5,000 in tax alone. It was like 7.1%. Their tax rate was. And because they're like a middleman, so basically this was consignment, basically is what they call it. Ritchie Brothers is licensed in all 50 states, they told me. So, they did all the tax laws. And I still questioned them. And they emailed the Tennessee Tax Department. And the Tennessee Tax Department sent me back an email stating all the reasons why I had to pay the Tennessee tax, and I wasn't going to have to worry about the Vermont tax. So, anyways, I had to pay an extra $5,300, $5,338, I believe was the ending number on tax. Don't like that at all. Now, you might say, okay, well, but you do ag, but you're ag business. Yes, I'm an ag business, but I wanted to cover my butt on this, because we are going to dig some dirt with it. We do have a dirt digging business also, and this will be utilized in both. So I did want to cover myself on that and pay the tax. Fine, whatever. It's just the unforeseens. Now, I knew getting it that it was going to need oil changes and, there was going to be knick-knack, paddywhack, stuff like that. And the $700 door that's missing on the fuel there, okay, my bad, I didn't look it up. But the scarred cylinder does kind of annoy me. The rod, because I can get a replacement rod from Yanmar. They told me the rod was $2,000. So I guess I'll be finding a hydraulic shop somewhere here. Probably not in Vermont, because Vermont basically doesn't have any businesses. Probably New Hampshire or Massachusetts. I'm going to have to take this thing off and pay to have it welded and re-chromed or whatever. Whatever. What are you going to do, I guess? But that's a little annoying. So all said and done, because trucking, of course, you were probably wondering, how much did it cost to truck it 1,000 miles from Tennessee to Vermont? I got a quote on that for $2,500, and I used U-Ship. The website was a little confusing, not too bad. It walks you through it. It was a little confusing. Of course, they had a fee. You got to pay a fee to everybody gets a fee. But yeah, so I honestly don't think that's bad for the fuel and trucking rates and all that. From Tennessee to here, $2,500. But again, back to the machine. So by the time I get it all done, I'll probably be in the ready to use. I'm probably gonna be, I don't know. Hopefully not 90. Hopefully we'll be under 90,000. Now, again, like I said, it has 460 hours on it. That's still new to me. My 55, when I bought that last year, had 360 hours on it. It was also a lease return from the Yanmar dealer. That's how Yanmar does their dealers. They let them rent them, and then they can sell them at a little bit of a discount, and that way the dealer can make a little money with it while it's sitting on the lot, and they're not paying a lot fee or whatever they call it there. I forget what you call it, but so far, I haven't used it to dig with, really. I did dig a hole with it to make sure it ran. Well, let's check the air filter. I haven't even had the air filter off. Let's see what it looks like in here. Probably got Tennessee dirt in it. So I'm telling you right now, nobody's taking that off since this thing got put on at the factory. Okay? And it's got 460 hours on it. I'm pretty sure nobody's messed with this thing. I don't think they opened the hood and checked the oil. It is low on antifreeze, but I'm dumping it out anyways. It had green in it, so we're going to put red in that. So, I think overall, I'm happy with my purchase. Yeah, obviously we don't ever want to... Nobody wants to pay more than they should. That's for sure. So, the reason I'm putting that back on is because I don't want to incapacitate it here in the shop just yet. I had to order the filters, the filter kit. And I don't know when that'll actually be here. It probably won't be here until next week. So I don't want to dump the oils out of it just yet in case I got to take it out of the shop. I did change the Planetary oils this morning, and I took these shields off and cleaned those out, and I sprayed a little undercoating in there, help with stickum, as far as the dirt sticking and stuff, I think it's a good idea to take those off, you know, twice a year or whatever, especially if you're in the mud. But anyways, back to the machine. So I don't know. I don't know how the guy was able to rub on everything he got near. I think it was used in the woods, you know, at least in some tree clearing or something, because upon cleaning things out, there's a lot of sticks and leaves everywhere. So, you know, okay, you think, okay, you got some rubs and stuff from sticks and leaves. But then, like, back here, like, that's a piece of concrete. That little dot right there, that's concrete. And there's some concrete stuck here and there. So, I don't know. I got to look up, see what Heavy Machines was, but I think it was a round company. So, you know, I'm still like, why was it for auction? You know, that's always the question. Why is it auctioned? I haven't figured that out just yet, other than, you know, it does have 460 hours on it. It does need a full service. The filters alone was almost $400 for that one-time service, that first-time service. It does need a cylinder. Maybe they didn't want to put the money into it. I don't know. One cool thing about this 80 versus the 55. This is like the headliner, like behind your head, up on the roof of the cab. That's the radio hole. I got it all out of here because obviously we're gonna put a radio in it. And that's a lot nicer than the 55 because you can put a standard length radio is going to fit in that, whereas the 55 you had to get like a super short one. But yeah, so all the grease fittings seem to take grease, and I think it was just used and lightly abused for 400 hours, but hopefully it's a good machine for us. That's all I can say. So I'll keep you posted.